So let's first start with, who is William Bill Ramsey? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
So I've grew up in Hingham. I've lived in Hingham my entire life. I was in the active duty military for about 5 years, from 2001 to 2005. So I moved away from Hingham during that time, but I moved back after that. But I've lived in the town my entire life. I'm a product of the Hingham public school system. Been in elected office in Hingham since 1998. Married with my wife, Adrian. We have 3 young children in town, 9, 7, and 6. They all go to the foster school. And I've just been involved with Hingham in town government really since '98 in a variety of different boards and committees. And in addition to that, I've practiced law since 2001 in a variety of different legal different positions. So just somebody who, who loves the town, grew up in the town. I feel like the town of Hingham has been really great to me and my family. I've always attributed to the success I've had in life to the public school system. My brother is a police officer in town. He's a DARE officer in Hingham Middle School. He served in that position for many years. So we really feel like, I really feel like the town's really given a lot to me and a lot of opportunities to my family. And I'm running for the Board of Selectmen. It's kind of an opportunity to help the town plan for the future and to give back to the town. I've been in the military for about 20 years. I'm a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve. I did combat tours right after 9/11 in Afghanistan with the 82nd Airborne Division. I also later served in Iraq during the summer of 2004. And the military has been a big part of my life as well. It's taught me a lot about myself, emotionally, physically. I've had tremendous challenges with it. I've been in the Army JAG Corps for 20 years. It's given an opportunity to been a prosecutor or defense counsel. I've had the privilege of teaching at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. I've had just a wonderful experience with the military for 20 years.
So what prompted you to look at public service, and when did that first begin?
Well, it started for me really when during my first year of law school. I served. Growing up in town, I worked for the recreation department for quite a long time. I was a camper there as a child growing up at the rec camps. And then I worked there for many years when Jill Drone was the recreation director. She was kind enough to employ me and my friends through law school, through high school and college. And when an opening came up to run for that opportunity in town, this was 1998, it was my first year of law school. I said, hey, why don't I try it, get involved with town government and see if I like it, and maybe do it maybe more extensively. So I ran for the office. I won that election as a law student. And I just really enjoyed working with people in town. I really enjoyed helping people where I could. And that really kind of started my positive experience with town service. I took a break obviously, as I said earlier, I took a break to go into the military full time from 01 to 05. But when I came back, I jumped right back in. I served on a variety of different boards to include, I was an alternate on the Zoning Board of Appeals. I started as an alternate on the planning board, then I later ran for the office, and I was on the July 4th Parade Committee and a variety of different things. The Veterans Council was on that for a very long time as well.
Looking at the Board of Selectmen, why did you decide to enter the race for a vacant seat there that's coming available with Karen Johnson stepping down? Is that right?
That is correct, yeah. Well, when Karen decided not to run again, I looked at the opportunity to do it. And Karen's a friend of mine. I think she did a great job. If Karen had done another term, I would not have run for it. But because she decided not to run, I kind of figured, hey, it might be a good opportunity to get involved at the town at a pretty high level of the decision-making process. And my primary reason for running is I want to help the town plan for the future, and I want to give younger families an opportunity to have a seat at the table with respect to the decision-making process. We have a lot of challenges facing the town. In the short term, right now, we have to figure out a way to reopen our community and to do it safely and to try to revitalize our economy. In the longer term, we're going to have some massively difficult decisions to make about our financial posture. We are anticipating significant deficits in our revenue in town with respect to state aid, property tax, meals tax deficiencies, a lot of different moving parts with coming up with the town. In the long term, I think we're going to have to make a lot of difficult decisions with respect to, how do we balance our budget every year? And my gut is telling me that the financial effects of what we're going through right now are going to extend probably to the FY22 budget. So the town's already starting to plan for what the impacts will be next year. I think for the maybe next year to 18 months, we're going to be dealing with decreased state aid, decreased town property taxes, and we need to make some difficult decisions about how we do so and best lead the town through this.
What would you like the Hingham voter to know about you that is perhaps one of the most important things that you bring to this office of Board of Selectmen?
Yeah, I've always tried to be. That's a great question. I've always tried to be very fair with my decisions, and I think what they would get from me as a member of the Board of Selectmen is that I listen. I listen to people, and before I make decisions, I do try to balance all the evidence. I weigh the evidence and try to always think about the people in the room before me, while also trying to but also keeping in mind the best interests of the town and our community. And as a member of the planning board, I've made some tough decisions over the years, and there are probably some people who haven't been happy with some of those decisions, because you face difficult decisions where you have to adhere to the zoning bylaw, and some of those decisions really impact people's lives with development or subdivisions and things like that. But what I've always done is I've always listened to people, and I think as a member of the Board of Selectmen, I'm going to continue to do that and be fair in my decisions. And as I said, weigh all the evidence, look at all the equities involved with the situation, the problems that are for me, and make decisions in the best interest of our town and our community.